3 years ago, when we were doing a review on the GTX 1080 Ti, we tried to set up a triple 4K monitor gaming rig, and it worked surprisingly well. Now 3 years later, maybe it's time to take it to the next level. We have here 3 8K TVs from Sony. Can you play games on this triple 8K monitor setup? Well, the answer is a little bit complicated. Believe it or not, we've been planning for this system since we first received our 3090 back in September last year. To maximize our chance to succeed, we went all out on this build. For CPU, we chose the almighty 64-core Threadripper 3990X overclocked to 4.3 GHz, and for GPU, guess what? 2 RTX 3090s in SLI and also overclocked to 2.1 GHz. To feed all those power-hungry parts, we use a 2000-watt EVGA power supply. This monster even requires a special 16-amp port which was meant for AC units. And yes, we know for sure that Zen 3 architecture CPUs would be better in gaming than Threadrippers, let's say. But I only have one SLI bridge, and that bridge is just not long enough in terms of the layout of our mainstream motherboard. Also, the Threadripper platform can run both cards in full 16 PCIe lanes, so eventually that is what we went with. Next up is to decide what TVs we're gonna use. Originally, we were planning on buying our own TVs, but wait a minute. It wouldn't hurt to ask our friends at Sony if they could just lend us a few models, right? And guess what? They said yes! They sent us two 75-inch Z8H 8K TVs. A big thanks to Sony. And for the rest, we bought it ourselves. As of now, we are ready to go. But it's gonna take a while before those 8K TVs reach our studio, so why not run some tests first in the meantime, just check out the platform we built. We got 3 XG27UQ monitors from ROG to see if we can run it in triple 4K at 144Hz. But before we could actually do anything, something already went wrong. Nvidia posted this on their website, announcing that they will no longer provide SLI profiles in the driver for 30 series graphics cards. Instead, games should add support for SLI themselves, which basically means only a handful of games can actually run with SLI, as future games probably won't support SLI anymore. Well, that's pretty awkward. That means one of the 3090s we prepared for the project is just useless. Among those few supported titles, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is probably the only one worth testing, so let's just try and see if it works. We ran it with high setting, resolution set to 11520 to 2160, and it actually runs pretty smooth. Both graphics cards are almost maxed out, and you can clearly see it's running under AFR, which confirms that both cards are utilized. Let me run some benchmarks. Wow, 93 FPS on average, that's not bad. Not bad, significantly faster than a single 3090. The only complaint here is that we still cannot quite reach 144Hz, I guess. And although the game does support DLSS, it doesn't seem to work under such a wide resolution. It would be much better if we could use DLSS to push it to, let's say, 144. Well, since not many games support SLI these days, this is it for our dual card setup. From now on, it's gonna be just one overclocked 3090 running the whole journey. Let's try some other games. Forza Horizon 4. Just like the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we set the resolution to 11520 to 2160 and the image quality to high. We can almost hit the 100 FPS mark, and honestly did not expect the performance to be as good as the Shadow of Tomb Raider on two 3090s. Don't forget we are just using a single card here. So obviously this game just nailed its performance optimization. And speaking of optimization, maybe we should try Doom Eternal. Now Doom doesn't natively support such a wide resolution, the image gets all stretched. To play the game on a triple monitor setup, you need some tricks, more specifically, a plugin called Flawless Widescreen. Using this tool, we can manually set the aspect ratio, and now the game is playable. Same resolution, same height setting, we are able to reach 90 FPS, occasionally over 100. Considering we are using only one 3090, this level of optimization is really not bad. Just look at these three beautiful 4K image running butter smooth. And because this is a first-person shooter, a high frame rate feels even more prominent than the two other games we just tried. It's really satisfying. We now have a general idea of what kind of performance we can get out of this setup, but it is still hard to reach that triple 4K 144 goal, which actually got me a little worried. How can it handle triple 8K if it can't even deal with triple 4K 144? Well, at this point, while our TVs are on delivery, we can only sit and wait.
2,000 years later.
After more than a month of delivery process, we finally got our hands on 3 Sony Z8H 8K TVs. After lighting them up, it's time to see some pixels. First thing first, we're gonna light it up with our shiny RTX 3090 graphics card, more exactly 2 of them. The reason why we went with those ROG Strix cards is that ASUS and Gigabyte are the only 2 brands that provide 2 HDMI 2.1 ports on their 3090s. So ideally, we should be able to run 3 8K signals from 3 HDMI ports on those 2 cards. And boy, I really hope it was that simple. Turns out, Nvidia does not support outputting to a multi-monitor surround setup crossing over multiple GPUs, meaning all 3 displays have to be connected to one single card. Well, that's a little bit tricky. As far as we know, a card with 3 HDMI 2.1 ports doesn't even exist yet, meaning one of those TVs has to be run through an adapted DisplayPort. Luckily, with the help from our audience, we found this DP 1.4 to HDMI 2.1 adapter supporting 8K 30 signal. Let's just hope it works. And it did! It worked perfectly! Until the screen went black and the system rebooted. We tried every single combination, 2 HDMIs or 1 HDMI plus 1 DP. No matter what ports we choose, as soon as we wired up 2 8K TVs, the screen goes black and it won't work. We have no idea what was going on until we accidentally captured this BSOD. Turns out it wasn't going black, it was going blue. This error code is actually referring to Nvidia's driver. At this point, I think we have a general idea of what is happening here. This is actually a bug in Nvidia's graphics driver. More than 1 8K TVs going into one Nvidia GPU, the system goes blue. That simple. I guess maybe they just never thought that anyone would connect 2 8K TVs into one of their cards. Since the setup doesn't work, we have to find another solution. Let's just go through the picture here. We want a triple 8K surround setup, right? That requires one card sending output to 3 TVs, but that's not possible, and we're stuck in a dead loop now. So maybe we should take a step back. The reason why we want a triple monitor setup is that we want the games to run in full screen. What if we work around it by running the game in window mode instead of full screen? Maybe we don't even need a surround setup in the first place. But just like we said, each GPU can only output to one 8K TV, so to run all 3 of them, yes, we need 3 RTX 3090s. Jesus, what a Frankenstein of PC. You know what? You won't even find a better PC within 10 kilometers nearby. Just look at those tags in Device Manager. That is something, right? But does this monster really works? Well, let's connect all the TVs and find out. That's 2 8K TVs plug in, And that's 3. This is it. Nearly 100 million pixels all lit up. Maybe it's not a true AAA surround setup, but hopefully running the games in window mode could work this around. The first game we're gonna test, you know what it is, right? Can it run Crysis? Although it was released nearly 10 years ago, Crysis 3's image quality still holds up pretty great today. Since we don't have a true AAA surround setup, the highest resolution you can go in the menu is a measly single 8K. And the only way to bump up your pixels further is to edit the config files. What are the correct numbers again? 230/40 to 4320, right? Wow, that's a ton of pixels. We set it to window mode and hit start. And the game crashed. Oh Jesus, what's wrong this time? After a lot of digging, we found that in Windows OS, the max horizontal resolution for one window is 163/84. Our number goes way beyond that limit, so our only choice was to reduce the resolution to 163/84 to 4320. And then the game runs. It can run Crysis at 7 frames per second. You can't say that's ideal, right? We are running with medium setting and max texture quality, but still a single-digit frame rate is just not acceptable. And the weird thing is, those graphics cards aren't even under full load. Actually, a big chunk of the GPU resource is just wasted. What is going on? Just like all the previous problems, this one cost us a ton of time to troubleshoot. We found 2 possible reasons for that. First, running a game in window mode under such a high resolution could lead to some compatibility issues that weigh down the performance. And second, window mode over multiple GPUs could eat up a lot of bandwidth, PCIe bandwidth, since all those cards have to be constantly exchanging AK60 signals among each others. Even PCIe 4.0 at full speed couldn't keep up. So at this point, I just don't see how we can find a better approach. There is a decent amount of computing power in our hands, but there is just no way to cash them out. Who knows? Maybe it's just not possible to game on a AAA setup like this. Or is it? Before RDNA 2, nobody would even think of using an AMD card in a challenge like this, but these days, things are pretty different. A lot different. This is an RX 6800 XT. It may not have an equivalent raw power of an RTX 3090, let's say, but when it comes to multi-monitor setup, it might be an easier card to work with. And guess what? All of our 3 8K TVs are working smoothly on a single 6800 XT. This is already beyond what we accomplished with Nvidia cards. But it's too early for celebration. We soon found that we still cannot set the resolution to true AAA, since the max we can toggle to is around 16,000 to 3,000, not that genuine 24K we've been craving for. We are literally this close, but still, this setup is way better than what Nvidia has offered, right? At least now we could run games in real full screen mode. To maximize the frame rate, we also overclocked this 6800 XT a bit, and this time we are pairing it with a Ryzen 5900X. Well, it's do better than Team Green. We're still testing Crysis 3, and instantly we noticed that even on menu page, the experience is already much smoother than our previous attempts. Obviously, the resolution is set to 16,000 to 3,000, still the medium preset max texture. And we're getting a whopping 25 to 30 frames per second. Is it butter smooth? No, but is it playable? Definitely. And the image quality is just stunning, especially with this unbelievably wide view. Still, as you might have noticed, some part of the UI got stretched, like this nanosuit thing. But after all, this game was developed even before 4K was a thing, so I don't think I should complain about it, right? Also, just for fun, we did try to put it in max setting, but the FPS number just went down to sub 15 level. And honestly, the image quality didn't really improve that much. Would you say? Maybe we should try another game, right? Forza Horizon 4. This one runs even better. Even at the max setting and at 16,000 to 3,000 such a resolution, we are getting somewhere even close to 40 FPS. Considering Forza on Xbox One X tops at 4K 30, this performance is definitely playable. And have I mentioned how gorgeous this game looks in max setting and 16K res? It's just the next level, man! And what about something more difficult? The Witcher 3. Still the same medium setting and max texture, and of course 16K by 3K resolution. Just like the Crysis 3, this game aged pretty well after all these years, and they are both still quite demanding even in 2021. In this case, we are almost hitting 30 FPS, and it's only after playing under such a high resolution that we noticed just how detailed the character and weapon texture is in The Witcher 3. Just take a look at this sword. There's no way you can see such a detail on 1080p or 1440p display. Plus, the super wide view just makes your vision astonishing. The only thing I would complain about is probably the 30 FPS performance. If only it could reach 60, that would be the ultimate gaming experience, but you know, something is better than nothing. And you know what? You can even play Genshin Impact on this setup. Under 16K by 3K, we could reach almost 30 FPS in the max setting. Not quite there yet for a real smooth gaming experience, but still entertaining enough for a scenic tour where you can take some screenshots maybe. Especially at night when all the lights are on, striding around in Liyue Harbor with this super wide view is quite impressive. Another thing we found is that in photo mode, the game's time keeps flowing. You know what that means? In-game time-lapse. Wow, that is some unforgettable gaming experience, right? After all the hassle, we finally reach our goal. Sort of. We did put games on all 3 8K TVs in full screen, though we didn't really reach that ultimate 24K horizontal resolution, and the performance of our 2 Arctic 3090s in SLI was never utilized. But nevertheless, gaming on 3 massive 8K TVs? I honestly wasn't expecting this to work anyway. So what we achieved at the end of the day is already pretty impressive, I guess. Perhaps in the future we can revisit the topic, that is, if Nvidia fixed their drivers or came up with a card that supports 3 HDMI 2.1 ports. But for now, I think that's enough for today's video. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and sub to our channel. Maybe hit that little bell over there, and this is East Terminal. Thank you for watching and see you next time.